Hey, 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 gorgeous. All right. I'm Cheryl Pullins, and I'm excited, delighted, and overjoyed to be here with you today. Back to going live and sharing all the things and showing up for the people and all the amazing stuff. So, I was going to do this as a 2 day masterclass, and then I thought about it, and I was like, this is a great time for me to go live. This is a great time for me to show up, and do what I said I was going to do, which is go live. So I know, it's out there telling the people I'm here. I'm not really worried about that. You can watch the replay. We're not going to be here long, but I wanted to talk to you today about rain. Now, not the rain that happens outside, drizzle, drizzle. I live in Florida, so we get rain, child. We get rain. But I'm talking about the type of rain that you can have over your business and your life. I'm talking about the type of rain that gives you control of your business and your life. So welcome if you're watching live, welcome if you're watching the replay. I'm Cheryl Pullins from Her Iconic Empire. Also, you can go to iconicwomanclub.com, where you can become a part of the community that we're building of women, multifaceted women who are global minded, legacy focused women who are ready to do the darn thing in the world. Um, so let's talk about this idea of rain. Now, I can't see comments. So if you're commenting or anything in here, I can't see them for some of the platforms. We are streaming live to Facebook. I think my business page, Facebook, my community, the Iconic Woman Club, and we're also streaming to YouTube. So, excuse me. So this is the fun that we're going to have. I think we're going to do it every Wednesday at 12 noon ish. Let me know if you're here. Give me a shout out in the comments. If I don't see it now live, I will definitely see it after we're done. Let's talk about this idea of reigning over your business and your life, reigning as the icon of your business and your life, reigning as the empress. We hear a lot of talk about being queen. But when I was doing like my research and writing out this and everything for reign, I realized that there's a difference between being queen and being empress. And we hear a lot of talk about being queen, and queen is she has the reign, if you will, over a particular region, and an empress has reign over multiple realms, multiple realms. And I am all about multiple realms. I am all about being multifaceted. I am all about embracing all the facets of who you are, because you were created that way on purpose. You were created and designed as a multifaceted woman because you need to be in different areas. You need to show up in different places and different realms. So we're going to frame this conversation about reign around the idea of being an empress. But you know me, it's really about being an icon. It's about being iconic. Now, let me say this. I know people don't get the idea around being an icon, because they think to be an icon, you have to be something spectacular. You have to be famous. You have to be celebrity. No, we're all icons in our own way because we all have a unique value. We all have a unique greatness that's on the inside of us. We just haven't tapped into it yet. We haven't owned the icon that is in us. Yes, someone says Hollywood. Right. It's not being iconic is not about Hollywood. Hollywood is not the only iconic thing. If you look at the definition of iconic, it really is about being an example. It's about being an example of the highest standard. That's what being an icon really is. It's about being a representation. So, yes, Hollywood has kind of owned the idea of being an icon, celebrity status type, but it really is about somebody that's at the top of their game and represents well. My responsibility here is to teach you how to be at the top of your game. It's to teach you how to represent well. It's to teach you how to tap into your unique greatness, uncover your unique value, uncover what you bring into the world, regardless of what everybody else is doing, because you have something that nobody else has. And it's up to you, with my help, to figure that out. But for today's purpose, we're going to talk about REIGN. Okay, let's get it. Yes, somebody says unique value, unique greatness. Yes, and if you click, I think there's a link somewhere in the caption here. If you click there, give them permission to share your name. I can see your name. I can see who's hanging out with me here on on the um, on the live that we're doing. I was going to try to scoot in and see if I can see, but I'll look later. All right, so let's get into it. REIGN. We're talking about reigning over your business, reigning over your life, reigning over your finances, reigning over your relationships. You can reign over every area of your life. Over every area of your life, you have the power to reign. And of course, if you know me, you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I'm all about using the letters to talk about what I'm going to talk about. Oh, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Awesome. All right, so reign. Remember, we're framing this with the idea of being iconic, of being your iconic self, of stepping into your greatness, of being unapologetic about stepping into your greatness. And here are some ways that you can do that. And we're going to use REIGN in order to help you do that. And the first thing is build real relationships. Build real relationships. You know, relationship building takes intentionality. It takes work. It takes you being willing to be even vulnerable, because I know a lot of you have been hurt, a lot of you have been burned, a lot of you have had relationships and friendships that went south. But we are naturally wired for connection. We're naturally wired for connection and to have relationships. So the first thing about reigning is building real relationships. When you link up arms with other people, when you connect with other people, your greatness is not diminished. I want you to hear me on this one. I want you to hear me on this one. When you link up with other people, when you connect with other people, your greatness is not diminished. Your greatness becomes exponential. It becomes exponential. Because what you have on the inside of you, once you are vulnerable, and once you're really in covenant relationship, when I talk about real relationships, I'm talking about those covenant relationships too. When you link up like that, your greatness is not diminished. It's exponential because you're with like-minded people. So now instead of you trying to trudge up the hill by yourself, right? Trying to go through the thing by yourself, you got 6, 7, 8 other people in your circle that are helping you, that are going with you. So now your greatness becomes what? Amplified. It's not diminished. it becomes amplified. I mean, Jesus even had 12 disciples. Come on, y'all. Jesus had 12 disciples. And yeah, he had people in there. We know he had Judas, but he also had Peter. Right? Build real relationships, build covenant relationships, people that you are in relationship with, that and a lot of times in these covenant relationships that you have with people, every person kind of serves a different purpose in your life. Some of your friends, some of your people you're in relationship with is all about business. It's like, yep, let's link up, I'm gonna say, like, let's get this money. There are some people that are doing that. But then there's some people that it's like, you know what? I need somebody to pray for me because I am going through it. So you're going to pick up the phone or you're going to text. If it's me, you're going to text. But anyway, you're going to text and you're going to say, you know what? I need you to pray for me. Right? Then you got some people, you want to go to dinner, you want to have fun, you want to do all the fun things, and then you have a person for that. But all of these different types of relationships all come together to make up who you are. I have one friend of mine that we know if there's certain types of movies that come out, we make time to go see that movie. We go to dinner, we go someplace fun, and then we go to the movies. I know that that's what we're going to, because her role in my life is to pull me out of thinking about business all the time. That became her role in my life. She's like, oh, time for you to step away. Let's go. Boom. And we don't talk about business. We talk about life. We talk about travel. We talk about all the things. And I have one friend, it's all about travel. Where are we going? So build real relationships. Build real relationships. And we're talking about reigning in your business and life. Some of your relationships are going to be strictly business. Some of your relationships are going to be spiritual relationships. Some of your relationships are going to be recreational relationships. Build real relationships. Okay, the E in REIGN, enlarge your territory. Enlarge your territory. You can't reign if you don't enlarge your territory. And listen, what does this really mean? When I say enlarge your territory, what does this really mean? Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort. Get out of, I can't see, can you see me? Get out of your comfort zone. So many of us are so scary. What are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? People don't like what I said. Okay. And it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. Somebody, somewhere is going to have an issue with it. One, because everybody has their own perspective, everybody has their own filter, everybody has their own way of thinking. We are innately unique and different as much as we are similar. That's an interesting dynamic there. We are innately different, yet similar. But our differences are skewed by our experiences, our exposure, our expertise, our journey. And you've heard me say this. This is a side comment, but you've heard me say this. I am not a fan of the word hater. And I'm not a fan of the word hater. And here's why. Everybody's on a different journey. Everybody's on a different journey. Everybody's at a different stage in their journey. So who you think might be your hater now could be your supporter in the future. It's not that they're hating on you. They just haven't gotten to a level of understanding where they realize, or they're resonating or connecting with where you are and what you're saying. Because in some cases, most cases, it's not about hating on you. What they're really doing is looking at themselves going, what the heck is wrong with me? That's a teacher for a whole nother day. My point is, get out of your comfort zone. Get from behind that computer, or get behind the computer and get on camera. I was watching a video earlier someone had sent me, and they were talking about this guy, and he's helped some of the notable personal brands that a lot of people are familiar with on social media. And he was kind of like the catalyst behind helping them build their personal brands, like I do. And one of the things he talked about is that, people, in particular founders, meaning founders of companies, CEOs, those types of things, they have difficulty getting in front of the camera. And a lot of that difficulty comes from your own perception of who you are. Your own perception of who you are. You ever watch a video of yourself and you sit and you criticize everything? It's like you can't find anything good about it. Oh, look at my hair. My hair is this. Oh, look at my lips. My lips like this. Oh, look at my glasses. My glasses are crooked. Oh, oh, look at this. I got a pimple on my face. Oh, why didn't somebody tell me that I had lipstick on, coming? I mean, that's what we do. We are incessant. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. But what you shared was inspiring, empowering. People are getting it. People are feeling it. It's not for you to tear yourself down. So we show up, we don't want to be on camera. I don't like the sound of my voice. What do you mean you don't like the sound of your voice? What is that? Right? And while you're all in your head doing all of that, and let me tell you, I want to bust your bubble here. Let me tell you, that's your ego talking. That's your ego talking. Because your ego's job is to protect you. No, girl, don't do that. Don't go out there like that. Don't do that. People gonna talk about you. People gonna be like, "Ooh, look at her. She don't know what she's talking about. Where did she come from? How's she gonna tell people to do that? And she ain't even done it for herself." We're not even gonna go there, because that's a whole other conversation. Because I have an opinion about that too. Boom. Anyway, get out of your comfort zone. Enlarge your territory. Now, what does enlarging your territory look like? It can look different ways. It depends. Here's the thing, I don't believe in doing anything just for the sake of doing it. I believe you have a strategy. And I believe that strategy is because you have certain goals that you want to reach, right? And those goals, those smaller goals, are part of bigger goals that you like, your lifetime goals, right? For the one next 100 years anyway. I always talk about China, and China always they plan for 100 years at a time. Okay, well, maybe we don't plan for 100, maybe we plan for 50. I don't know. Or maybe we just plan for the next 90 days. How about that? Right? But what does it look like to enlarge your territory? Here are some ways you can enlarge your territory. Pick and choose one. Pick and choose one and work that one. Don't try to be all over the place, because that's where we get hemmed up. We're trying to be over here going live. We're trying to go be over here doing a podcast. We're trying to be over here to do this. We're trying to be over there to do that. No, you already know that you are not going to keep all of that up. Pick one. How do you enlarge your territory? Let me show you. Let me show you how. Go live once a week, the same time. Do that consistently. Here's another way you can enlarge your territory. If you want to do it, host a podcast once a week, same time. every week. Here's another way to enlarge your territory. Create a community, a Facebook group. Go in there. Be active. Now I'm talking to myself. Be active. Be a resource. People will flock to you. Here's the thing. It's your job. It's your job. It's your responsibility. It's your commitment to show up for the people you've been called to. You say that you've been called, and that you're supposed to do what it is you're doing, then why aren't you showing up? Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. But it's because, I can tell you what it's because. It's because of things I talked about a bit ago. The ego, what goes on in your head, what's happening in your head, what's talking to you in your head. Me, 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 me. And it's loud. It's loud. And you got to tell it to shut up. Even if you have to say it out loud, shut up. We're not doing this today. All right? I got things to do. I got people to see. I got places to go. I got dreams to live. I got goals to reach. I got lives to impact. You got to talk to it. You literally got to talk to it. Okay? So I just gave you 3 ways you can enlarge your territory. Go live, leverage the use of technology. Technology is a great way to enlarge your territory. We see people all over the place. They got, followers, all the different things, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great. That's fine. It came from them just showing up. You're no different. You're no different. And also stop comparing yourself. Okay. I know we do it. We like, oh yeah, well they do it. Stop comparing yourself. Get in there and do your thing. Get in there and do your work. Show up for your people. Okay, one person showed up. Okay, that's fine. You never know what can happen suddenly. Suddenly, it can go from one person to 10 people. Suddenly, it can go from 10 people to 100 people. Suddenly, it can go from 100 people to 1,000 people. Suddenly, it could go from 1,000 people to 10,000 people. Your responsibility is to keep showing up. Your responsibility is to keep serving. Your responsibility is to keep sharing and giving what God's giving you. Keep offering up your unique value. Your responsibility is to walk this thing out. Your responsibility is to walk it out if it's only ever 20 people. Because those 20 people can go impact millions. They can. They can. Okay? So, enlarge your territory, aka get out of your comfort zone. The third thing is be intentional. You got to be intentional. You can't be willy-nilly. We talked about how to enlarge your territory. Now you got to be intentional about it. You got to go today, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, not when you get to it. You got to go today, look on your calendar and say, what day am I going to enlarge my territory? What day am I committing to enlarging my territory? What day am I committing to getting out of my comfort zone? Let's just start with one day. Don't try to do it 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I mean, one day. What day and what time am I going to enlarge my territory? I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. Am I going to show up for my people and serve? What day? What time? What platform? What day, what time, what platform? We're talking about reigning. We're talking about reigning. If you know anything about the monarchy, British monarchy, we see a whole lot of stuff about the British monarchy. One thing about the British monarchy, okay? If we know the queen has gone on, but if the queen never came out on the balcony to wave to the people. If the queen never showed up, there would be a problem. People would be like, what is going on? And that's what's happening with your people. They're like, well, where's the person that's supposed to show me how to get where I need to go? Where's the person that I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know who I'm supposed to be. I don't know how to navigate this situation. I don't know where to get help from. And you have the answer, but you are so far up in your head, you can't even show up for your people. And they are looking for you. You don't know who's looking for you, but somebody is. Somebody's inspired by you when you show up. Somebody's feels a sense of empowerment when you show up. Somebody feels like, you know what, I can go a little further, a little faster when you show up. All right, but you got to be intentional. You can't listen. You cannot let life and all of its woo, take over and consume you to the point where you lack commitment to what you've been called to do. You cannot let life's situations and circumstances consume you and have you not be committed to what you've been called to do in the world. You got to be committed to your calling. You got to be committed to what you've been sent here on this earth to do. You got to be committed to your purpose. And that means you have to be intentional. So one of the things that happens with me a lot of times is, I'll go for a while. Listen, I ain't just talking to you. I'm talking to me too. Okay. When I was like, oh, I'm supposed to say all that. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I know this may be for you, but I promise you with every fiber of my being, this moment, this message, this talk, this whatever is for me. It's for me because I was stepping all on my own toes, tripping over my own feet while going through this. But it's all good. It's all good. But what happens with me is, I'll go for a good clip, and then I'll get distracted, or I'm like, oh, nobody's really interested. Nobody. So I convince myself, nobody's, yeah, whatever. And then along the way, they'll send me messages and they say, I just want you to know, the impact that you had. I just want you to know whatever. They share something with me and I'm like, wow, thank you, God, for the God wink. He's like, honestly, I ain't winking at you. He's like, I'm really tapping you on the shoulder, telling you to get with the program. We talk about God. God don't be winking. No, he's like, listen, what is you doing, girl? Right. And that's what's been happening. So this idea of going live, I was like, oh, back in February, it's like, I'm going to start going live again. And then life started life. And for me, when life is life, it really is about what's happening business wise. I'm doing a lot of stuff and I'm traveling, I'm here and there. And and it's like, I haven't learned how to balance travel and like working, still like doing things. I don't know. I figure it out, but that's where I have to be intentional. I have to be intentional. All right. So the R was what? Build real relationships. The E, enlarge your territory, AKA get out of your comfort zone. The I is be intentional. G, gather your people. Gather your people. Give your people a gathering place. And this is really about building community. And again, like I said a few minutes ago, God's been tapping me on the shoulder for a very long time. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna get to it. But recently, it's been more of a tap. It's been like, girl, come on. Because I've built communities in the past. When Facebook groups first came out, I had a Facebook group. I had two highly popular Facebook groups. This was a long time ago. And if you've been following me or any length of time, you might have met me through one of those groups. One of the groups was that people still talk about was the pecking order. Does anybody remember the pecking order? And the pecking order was a group that I created during the Woman Thou Art Loose conference. And TD Jakes, Bishop Jakes taught on the pecking order. And so I created this group because I was like so on fire about what was being taught, and I have a natural desire to bring people along with me. So I'm like, I'm creating this group. I'm creating this group so we all can get in there. And that group was an amazing group. And then what happens with me, I fall off, the excitement goes away, the commitment, it's the lack of commitment. The pecking order, yes, it was called the pecking order. And that was an awesome group. It was all based on Woman Thou Art Loose that weekend. And that had to be, God, that was more than 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago. Then I had one called Diva Girlfriends. I had a group called Diva Girlfriends, and it was just a group of women. It was over 1,500 women in that group, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and it grew so quick, so fast. I'm like, I don't know what to do with these people. And it was before I got like really I had learned about, I wasn't even like trying to build my brand or anything back then. I was just doing it because, like I said, when I'm going, I want to bring people along. And I just wanted to bring people together and do all the things. And we had like one meetup, and every now and then I'm like, man, had I kept that group, we could probably be 100,000 strong. We could be having retreats all over the world. And God is like, and who says you still can't do that now? So building a community, gather your people. They're going to come, but you got to be committed. You got to be intentional. We're talking about reigning. This is how you reign. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Linda. Hey, Aretha. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for putting your name in there because I'm like, I can't see what your names are. Thank you. Hey, Brittany. It's so awesome to see all of you watching today. Gather your people, build community. Remember, I said, what was the first thing? Build real relationships. And here's the thing, when you build community, you create opportunity for other people to build real relationships. When you build community, hey, Andrea, when you build community, you build an opportunity for other people to build real relationships. Now, if you missed what I said about building real relationships, you'll have to go back and watch from the beginning because I gave you some really juicy stuff. All right, so gather your people. You're like, okay, Cheryl, that sounds good. How do I gather my people? Well, you can do it online. You could do it offline. Everything doesn't have to be done online. Online just gives you the ability to amplify, gives you the ability to reach more people, gives you the ability to enlarge your territory. But you could do it offline. You could do it offline. Be intentional about gathering your people. So you can use a Facebook group to do that. I just think it's an easy way. It's an easy way to do it. Open the Facebook group, invite people. You're like, okay, and then now here I will caution you. Creating a Facebook group is easy. Maintaining a Facebook group takes commitment and responsibility. But what did we say? Be intentional. So if you're going to show up in that group once a week on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock in the evening, do it. That way people know they got a regimen, they got a routine. They're like, they can count on you because that's how you build trust. That's how you build trust. People are not going to trust you if you're all willy-nilly. Okay, now someone said, and I don't know who said this, someone said maintaining is a struggle. Let me help you right here. As long as you believe that maintaining a Facebook group is a struggle, it will always be a struggle. We have to pay very close attention to the words that we use, to the words that come out of our mouth. We have to shift those beliefs and ideas that are preventing us from doing the things that we really want to do. If you want to build community, and if you want to use a Facebook group to do that, then you have to speak in a way that's going to empower you and is going to help you show up. Yes, it is work. It's a responsibility. But saying it is a struggle, you're creating a natural block for yourself. Now, I'm not going to get into the total like mindset piece about it, but your mindset around a lot of these different things are the things that are going to block you from doing the things and getting the results that you say you want. How you think about it, what you say about it represents what you believe about it. And as long as your belief doesn't line up with your desires, you will never reach your desires. You'll never reach your goals. You'll never live your aspirations as long as your beliefs don't line up. And what you say out of your mouth is always a representation of what you believe. What you say out of your mouth is always a representation of what you believe. And it doesn't stop there, because how you live also represents what you believe. How you live represents how you believe. If you don't believe, if you don't have a radical belief about who you were created in this world to be, why you are here on this earth, and that there is nothing on this earth that can stop you from going where you're supposed to go, doing what you're supposed to do and being who you're supposed to be. If you don't believe that, you are living your beneath where God intended you to live. You're living beneath you. They talk about living beneath your means. You're living beneath your means. You're living beneath where God placed you in the world. He says you're the head and not the tail. You're above but not beneath. You come behind and no good thing. Everything you put your hands to will prosper. But you say the opposite. Don't even know how I got there. Gather your people. Build a community. Build a community. Find a way to build a community. Use social media. Create a Facebook group. Start something in your community. Something. And stay committed. Be intentional and stay committed and stick to it. And then nurture. Those of you that are saying, is work, is, well, I said it too, because it is work. It takes time, because you have to nurture. You have to, people don't just show up going, okay, no, you have to nurture. People are watching you. You think people are watching you waiting for you to slip up. People are watching you to make sure you're consistent, to make sure you are who you say you are. That's why people watch. People will watch in the background for years. For years. Because they're watching to see if you are who you say you are. If you're going to be consistent, if you're going to be committed, if you're really doing, watching, people are waiting. And they're like, okay, you know what? She's the real deal. I can roll with her. I've had people tell me that. I've had my clients tell me, they're like, yeah, I've been watching you for the last 2 years. Because I wanted to see if you were who you said you were. And I believe you are who you say you are. So here I am. Here I am. Take my money. Help me build my personal brand. Right? And that's what I do. That's what I do. So reign. And what is reign? What is reign? Reign is build real relationships. Enlarge your territory, aka get out of your comfort zone. Be intentional. Gather your people, aka build community. And then nurture your community. You got to be there for them. You got to show up with your solution. You got to serve. You got to show up. You got to serve them. Bring the solution. You have a unique value that addresses a desire or a problem. Most times people focus on, problem, solve their problem, solve their problem, solve their problem. Every idea doesn't solve a problem per se. It addresses a desire. Now, it could start off as a problem and wind up being a desire. And a great example of that is Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton, you guys know, well, if you don't know, I study a lot of luxury brands because they understand their market better than anybody as far as I'm concerned. But Louis Vuitton started as a company that solved a problem and eventually became a company that addresses a desire. The problem was it had to do with luggage, and it had something to do with the rain. I can't remember, something about the rain, and the rain would do something to the luggage then. And then that's how Louis Vuitton created those steamer trunks, and the steamer trunks was supposed to address that problem. And then eventually Louis Vuitton became a brand that people desire. Because now it's not about addressing problems. It's about addressing a need, a want, a desire, right? So I don't remember why I was saying that, but yeah, somebody said higher end stores don't do sales discount or advertise. Absolutely 100% correct. They don't. They don't. Oh, I was saying in terms of showing up. No, they don't have to, because their people know where to find them, because they show up where their people are. That's why I like the principles of the luxury brands. They show up where the people are. They don't advertise in every magazine. You don't see them advertising on television because their people are not TV watchers. Their people like to read these high-end magazines, like one I have sitting right here called the R.E.I.G.N Report. I wish I had it over here to show it to you. Called the R.E.I.G.N Report. Old magazine, you see a lot of them in there. Harper's Bazaar, those kinds of things. But how do you get to know that about your people? By spending time with them, by bringing them in a community and nurturing them. Then your solution and how you deliver it becomes a no-brainer, because you know them. You're speaking their language. You're like, you know what? I know this is happening, or I know you want this, or I know you need that. So here, this is here for you. And that's how you start to nurture that community and build that community. Because your people know if they come to you, they're going to get what they need to live what? A better life. To do what? To show up in a way, a bigger, bolder, grander way, because they accessed your solution. And that's reign. That's reign. That's reign. That's reign. That's reign. That's how you reign over your business and your life. That's how you reign over your finances and relationships. That's how you reign. That is how you reign. All right, so I'm gonna go through the comments. See comments. Oh yeah, she says this is a teaching to revisit again and again and again. 100%, absolutely. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Tyler, Alicia. Someone says, I'm reigning. I'm reigning. Yes, great word, great word. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish I could see your names. Oh boy. How you live is how you believe. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Yes, my husband says that all the time. Great words, great words. I love this. Changing my thoughts on imposter syndrome is helping me to do better and show up authentically in teachings like this. Fantastic, fantastic. Someone says, you are on my toes again. Thank you. Reframing the mind. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Change your mindset and how we change our lives. Yes, Andrea, very good, very good, very good, very good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hey, Carmen. Hey, Carmen. Hey, Carmen. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Please like, comment, share, send it out to your people. Let them know that this is going to teach them how to reign over their business and their life, their relationships, their finances, all of it. It's going to teach them how to do that. And you could go to, and I forgot to put the banner up, but you could go to you could go to iconicwomanclub.com. That'll get you on my email list. It'll also bring you into the Iconic Woman Club community. That's community where I think this can I make it shareable? I can. I'll go in and double check and make sure it's shareable, depending on where you're watching it from. It is on YouTube. It is on my Facebook business page, and you can definitely share from those two places. If it's inside the group, you can't share from there, but you can definitely share from the other two places. Carmen, if that's you, I'll tag you on the one that's on my business page. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in and joining me today for this week's mini masterclass. And I'll see you next week. I'm going to see you next week, 12 noon, for our weekly now mini masterclass that I'll show up each week. Because why? I'm committed, I'm being intentional, and I want to build and nurture a community of world class, iconic women who are multifaceted, who are global minded, and who are legacy focused. I'll see you next time.